Welcome back, friends. Here in this lecture, we're going to learn about Java control statements. And here, particularly, we are going to start with if-else and various kinds of if-else statements that we can write to support segment-based control structure on our programs. There might be different scenarios in which you want to write different predefined conditions, and based on those predefined conditions, you want to execute a particular segment of the code based on different options, yes or no. Suppose if an event occurred, you want to execute certain code. If another event occurred, you want to execute different segment of code. Say if the user provided his name and his name starts with A, then the message will be displayed as welcome a person whose name starts with A, and so on for till Z. So you have 26 cases for 26 characters A to Z. So that could be defined here. So here is the basically if-else statement. We have the predefined conditions. The control loop starts from the above, the starts of the code. That could be print statement, class, main, etc. And when a program reaches to a certain condition, which is a predefined conditions, it will check whether the condition is being satisfied or not. The condition could be like if a equals to 10. We have a variable called a and the value is being taken from the user as an input, and if the value provided by him is 10, we may check whether if a equals to 10, then we can execute the conditional code, the segment which is executed when the condition is being satisfied, and if it is not satisfied, then it will move further out of the section and it will be taken as else statement or other. So this is a simple if else statement. You can base add conditional checks and different things. It is used to check the conditions, and it may check the true or false of the statement, existence or non-existence. There are various types of if statements that we can use. We can use the control statements in two ways: the case, switch case, and if else. So here in this lecture, we're going to learn about if else. There are different cases. The first is if statement. Only if we have only one condition, and if that condition is being satisfied, it will execute the code, and we do not define more than one conditions. In the if else statement, if the condition is get false, what should we do? That is being provided in the else statement, and the rest of programs will be continue. Then we may have different situations in which we may have different if else statement, if else ladder, if, else if, else if, else if, and else. We are going to learn about all of them in detail. Suppose you have different cases. If a person's name starts with A, you want to check in the first condition. If the person's name does not start with A, there may be situation where his name may start with B. Then we have different case for B. Similarly for C, D, and E, so on. And the else statement would take the conditions which are not alphabetic. Say numeric, a person's name could be start with number. Then we have nested if statement. If inside another if. If we may want to check conditions in a scenario, say if you want to check whether a city is situated in USA, you would check the conditions first of all. If a city is situated in North America, then move further. If it is situated in USA, then it will raise the flag and check whether the city is in the list or not. If it is not situated in North America, it will not move to the another if conditions. So the execution time would be same. So this is the first example. Here we have a number value defined as 13, and we are going to check whether this number is divisible by 5 or not. Divisibility is checked by taking the modulus of that function that we have learned in the earlier lectures. The division will remain the division sign, the slash sign will give you the quotient, and the mod sign, the percentage symbol, will give you the remainder. If the remainder is not equal to 0, we can get an odd number. If the remainder is equals to 0, we may get an even number. So this is the concept. So we will write it as follows. We have to write if provide in the brackets the variable name and the conditions that we want to define. Here we have a variable called number and we want to check whether the number is divisible by 5 or not. So we will write number mod 5 double equals to in order to compare if the value on LHS left hand side equals to RHS right hand side. So if value corresponds to 0, it will print this statement even number, or if it is not, the remainder is not 0. In that though the all case, we will have this statement being executed, which is defined under the else condition. Remember to place the curly braces and the brackets properly. The brackets condition is only defined in the if statement. There is no condition defined in else. So if the if condition is not true, then for all other conditions other than this, else condition will be executed. And any one of them could be executed, not both could be executed in a single case. Then we have if else later. There may be different conditions corresponding to different statements. So if we want to check whether the first condition is true, if the first condition is true, the condition statement will be executed and it will move out of the control. Then if the first condition is false, then second condition is being checked. If it is true, it will be executed. First will not be executed and not other statement will be executed and will move out of the loop. Then if both conditions first and second get false, then third condition is being checked and similarly till then whatever we have. If all conditions get false, we have the else statement. So this is an example. Here, suppose you have opted for an examination and you got certain marks and you want to design a grading system software to decide whether which grade you obtained based on your marks. So suppose we have obtained 72 marks and we want to check whether which grade we have obtained. We have to first write a condition. Here the passing marks is 50. So if the marks is smaller than less than 50, it will display as the fail. If the marks is greater than or equals to 50 and marks is smaller than 60, that means 50 to 59, it will print D grade. Note here that double ampersand symbol corresponds to AND, which is being checked if both conditions are true. If both conditions are satisfied, then only this statement will be displayed. Otherwise not. Then we have if marks is greater than equals to 90 and marks is smaller than 100, it will print A plus grade. And as for all other conditions, it will print invalid. So here we have 72 marks, which is neither the fail condition nor D grade because it does not fall in the 50 to 59 category. It is neither A plus grade, but it will be considered as invalid here. This is an obvious case. You can design your own case. You can print a different messages based on age, gender, and things like that. Suppose you want to design a system for any election voting system or things like that. You may want to check whether the person's age is above 18 or any criteria, whatever you feel like. Then we have a nested if statement. The nested if an if condition within another if statement. So there is an entry to the condition 1, first condition, which is being checked. If the condition is true, then we move to second condition. It will be checked. If the second condition is true, the statement for second condition is being executed and it will follow next statement out of this condition checks. If the second condition get false, it will print the second statement. And if the first condition, the basic condition will get false, the third statement will be executed. You may provide any of the statement or you don't need to provide all the statements. This is a typical scenario where we have a nested if example. If a block is within another block. So the inner block condition is executed only when outer block is true. Here we have two conditions. We have two variables defined: age in integer format and weight in integer format. We want to design for the blood donation camp, and we want to take blood of people who are above 18 years of age, 18 or above, and their weight is more than 50 kgs. So we have to first check whether their age is greater than 18, because there might be certain people below the age of 18 who have weight 50 and above. So it will be wastage of time and processor clock time of the processor if we want to check weight at the first. We have written the if statement at first. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then it will move to the second condition. If weight is greater than 50, then it will print eligible for donating blood. Otherwise, for any other conditions, if both conditions are not satisfied, you can display sorry, you are not eligible. And you can simply opt this out if you don't want to provide any condition for that. The similar things could be implemented with switch case that we're going to learn later. Try building your own solution. Uh, if else is a very powerful tool, and without if else or control statements, you could not define or imagine a programming language or a software. So try, give it a trial. Use nested if else later, and everything. Uh, keep learning and keep moving ahead.